I'm Natalie Hayden.
And I'm Laverne Badger.
And we are Expose the Podcast.
We're back. In effect.
All of that.
2024. Expose the Podcast.
Expose the Podcast. Hey guys, just welcome back. How about that? Welcome back to season 6, and we are in episode 4. And today is going to be just a few little tips. Just wanted to hop in on the behalf of our young people because, they sent me with some notes and they just said, I don't know if they're hearing us, but Natalie, they might listen to you and Laverne over at Expose the Podcast. But we just wanted to drop a few tips that could really help our young people. Keep in mind that this season we're focused on youth. Not just youth here in our community, but just youth in general. If you have the ear or if you are impacting youth in some type of way, if you are parents or you are encountering young people in some shape, form, or fashion, these are some of the things that they're throwing out there that's saying that maybe, like they might be whoever these people that are connected to them, they could be overlooking and may not see. But, right now we're dealing with a lot of, there's so much pressure just everywhere. And although young people in our minds, we might think that all that they have to do is go to school and get good grades and all of that. There's so much more that they have to contend with and deal with. They have to be proficient in school. They have to apply themselves a certain type of way to get into certain type of schools. They have to be sociably accepted among their peers. They need to be, doing well in all the things in sports, academically. It's just so much. So if you think about the things that your young people are dealing with, magnify that times maybe 10, more than the things that we probably had to deal with once you add on social media. So, I think it's really good for us to just talk about a few tips for recognizing signs of mental health issues amongst young people. I have a daughter and she's a preteen, and I am looking for things already. Not saying that she's struggling with some things, but I just really want to dial the tone up a little bit and just pay attention a little bit more, spend a little bit more time, have more focused meals together, put away my phone as well. I think oftentimes we have to lead by example as adults. We can't say, get off your devices when we're holding our devices in our hands as well. And that's all what they see in us. So oftentimes we really do have to be the example before them. So when we talk about taking care of young people and recognizing the signs of mental health, think about some of the things that you could be doing or even neglecting in your own mental health. And if you can practice some of these healthy strategies and tips, you will have a young person that will see what you've done, because oftentimes they do as they see and not as we say. That's truly a real thing. My daughter has called me on the carpet several times. Mom, you say get off your devices, but you're on yours. Ooh, ouch. Yep. You gotta take that one for what it is. But what that has taught me is that directly affects my daughter and how we can continue to foster and develop the relationship that's needed for her to be the thriving young person that I desire her to be. So I would say tip number 1 is, you notice a change in behavior. You notice they're spending more time alone. They're not talking to their friends as normal. There's a total change. And oftentimes we say, oh, they're just going through puberty, or they're growing up, or, she's just changing, or he's just going through whatever the changes. But when you see significant changes, those are signs that you really do want to watch for. Sudden mood swings, highs and lows, and all of those things. And you just want to pay attention to it. If you do not have a village that you can rely on, meaning, like it could be something as small as, the nuclear unit of the family. That's great. But then it could also be, someone that is of the school staff. It could be a counselor. It could be a therapist. It could be the principal, the teacher, the whoever. But these are people that are with your child more than you are probably during the day, and they can really advocate for them and just, do whatever they can to support them. Also, I would say the second would be physical symptoms, paying attention to physical complaints of like just chronic, pain in certain areas. I would just say, just keep that on, keep that at top of mind. And if they're complaining about a couple of those things at the same time and often, that is something that you might want to be mindful of. The third would be sleep disturbances. Are they getting a good night's rest? Are they sleeping adequately? Are they going to school groggy, tired, and all of these things? And there are some practices you can put in place to sort of wind down at night as a family. But if they're just not sleeping well, that is something to take into consideration. Change of appetite. That's number 4. If they're not eating or they're eating a ton and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Those are some signs that some things are going on. Emotional responses. That would be the 5th one for me. Just noticing excessive worry or sadness and severe like anxiety and all of those things. Just pay attention to those things. We're talking about, tips on how to help our young people through mental health and some of these issues that they could be facing day to day that we could typically overlook. The 6th one is substance abuse. Be aware of experimenting with drugs, and it's never too young. I would say it's never too young to just be mindful of these things and their peers. Who are they hanging with? 7 would be difficulty concentrating. Do they have a tough time focusing? That is not normal. Kids, as well as adults, we all have to find ways to focus and to do well. But that is just noticing those things could be signs that it could be a mental health issue that they could be struggling with. And socially withdrawing, that would be number 8. Observing if your youth decides to sort of begins to isolate themselves from family events, from friends, peers, all of the things they normally would be interested in, but they're now isolating. That could be signs of something. Those verbal cues, physical self-harm. I mean, the list really goes on. Keep in mind, it is so important to approach your young person with sensitivity and care and observation and compassion, and making sure that if you're not sure how to do and say all the things, that you involve professional support, and then go to the schools. The schools are ultimately a resource for us. Schools was a resource for me and my daughter. When we noticed a change in behavior, we all sort of rallied together to sort of support her in a way that maybe I didn't know how, but they had the resources and tools to do that. Keep in mind that we are here for young people. This episode, season 6, we're here to talk about all the things to make sure that we are cultivating a healthy environment for our young people. And with that, we appreciate you guys tuning in. These were just tips, but you can find more information at exposedthepodcast.com, or you can follow us on all social media outlets, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And with that being said, keep our young people in mind. Keep an eye out for them. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.